therapists helping you through relationship issues, Emily Diala, Mickey Gremlin, and Mark Trahan. All right, let's go to the phones. We have Francis on the line. Good morning, Francis.
Good morning.
What's your question or comment?
My question is, what are some of the safeguards that a couple could implement to possibly prevent infidelity?
Good question. That's a good question.
So that's a really important question, and one that you should talk about early in the relationship. One of the things that I suggest is that couples talk about how they're going to handle relationships with members of the opposite sex or same sex, depending on their sexual orientation, and create a plan around that. So what I suggest is that they not have friends that are members of the opposite sex that have not become friends or know the other person, spent time with both of them, and are friends to the relationship, supportive of the relationship. That way, there's not the possibility of splitting them and there being some secret communication that's going on, since secrecy is such a hallmark of potential affairs occurring. So that's an important thing. The other thing is be aware, like Mickey talked about earlier, about whether you're talking about your wants and your needs in your relationship.
Communicating.
And whether or not there are walls or windows between the two of you. Meaning, is there closeness, is there intimacy, are you talking about problems as they come up, or are there walls that are built that have secrecy or dishonesty, even in small things that over time could potentially pull you two apart. That's
and
a vulnerability element.
That pull you apart are the same things that we think pull you together. Children, because you can focus on the soccer game over here, we got this over here, we got that over, and it's easy to not communicate with each other because all your conversation is about your child or what they're doing and getting stuff done, and so it is easy for that wedge to be driven, but a lot of people don't expect it.
Introducing a child to a relationship is not the way to build a relationship. Unfortunately, the people report that the first year of childbirth in their relationship is moderate to severe crisis for them because all the changes of roles and the new responsibilities. So I suggest that people work on the relationship and then bring the child into the experience together. Don't do that as a Band-Aid.
Right. And research tells us that marriage is at an all-time low marital satisfaction when you have preschool children.
Oh, wow.
Because you don't have any time. There's no real connection. It's hard to make the connection. I know. Sorry, guys.
Also, they're all like, you're right. But, you know, it's also like, and you have to present yourself as a united front. You can't side with your kids in front of your spouse the whole bit. My son the other day was upset about my form of discipline, which is all of his electronics was going away. He was going to have no play dates. He looks at my husband and goes, "Why on earth did you marry this woman?" And my husband is really good about saying to him, you know, things like, "This woman is my wife, and we are a united front in raising you, and you don't get to say that to her. So now you don't have a play date for the rest of your life."
You know, to address the question, one of the things we were talking about before is I was telling them a story about a client of mine just this week that is totally committed to their husband, totally faithful, loves them, but they have these two high-powered careers and they're gone all the time. And she said, for the first time in my life, I understood how affairs happen. Because I was sitting in the airport and I started looking at men. And I thought, what am I doing?
The door is open.
Like, what is this? And then she said, what I immediately went to is that we're not connected. We haven't had any time. And that's like, what are the safeguards? Time, sacred time. Date your mate. Date your mate. Don't ever not date your mate. Date your mate. Make sure at least, what would you say? How frequent should somebody go out on dates?
Oh, I think a minimum of once a month if you can.
Minimum.
You know, because think about when you're dating, you're planning, you're anticipating, you're grooming, you're doing all of the things that kind of attracted you to your person in the beginning. And so it's important to maintain that, you know, at least periodically if you can.
We actually have a couple friends of ours who, when they date, they plan their date. They actually pretend that they're meeting for the first time. And we accidentally saw this one time, and she's walking up, and she's like, "Hey there, are you married?" And we're like, "Well, is that date? Oh, girl, what is going on there?" And so they go, "Yeah, I like to kind of play that way." And so, but you know, funny to some of us, but it sparks that excitement.
I love that you use the word play, because I think a lot of couples forget to play. You have to have that. It's integral to a relationship.
All right. Renita, you want to make a comment?
Yes, Deborah. I think it's Emily.
Yes.
Emily. Earlier, Amy asked a question, and it was regarding males and how they don't normally talk about what's going on with them, but you say that they're coming to you or seeking out therapists to get help. So with that, if it's more men that are coming and the women have the problem, the men have the Viagra or other things to help. So where does that leave the women?
Find
There's
yourself a
nothing
man
out
with
there.
Viagra.
Well, not a man, so we won't say man, no man.
Yeah, it's funny because we talk about medicine being male-dominated, and so
Sure.
they were going to come out with something for the men.
Right.
But what is there for women?
Well, to address one of the things that you said a minute ago, it's not that the men are coming in because the women have the problems. The men are coming in because the men are having a lot of issues, too. And the interesting thing with Viagra is a lot of times it is ineffective if the issue is totally here, which is something a lot of guys don't understand. So they go to their doctor first, they get the, little blue pill, and it still doesn't work. And so usually that's a very, strong diagnostic indicator that there's something psychological going on. The drug companies are working very hard to find something for women, but they haven't quite mastered it yet. But it also depends on what the issue is. A lot of women, as they go through menopause and aging, can have difficulty with lubrication. And so there are, different physiological interventions or medications that your doctor can prescribe for that. But when it comes to things like just sexual desire, a lot of times it's just too complex, and there is never going to be a magic little pill. Well, maybe. Never say never.
That solves all the issues.
Right.
Again, it goes back to what we were talking about when we talk about sex, that it is not just about the physical act.
Right.
It is so much about the psychological and emotional. Yeah.
But a woman needs to know her body.
Yeah.
So you need to get a little bullet and learn how your clitoris works. For women, if you want to enhance your sex life, learn how your body works.
But nice girls don't do that, Mickey.
Nice girls do that.
Yes,
Deborah.
we do. But in society, we say we don't talk about that. We don't do
Well,
that.
we need to,
We
so
do.
that women can enhance their sex lives. You have to know your body and know how it works.
You'll go
But
blind.
it's start
Is that what
by-
they said years
yeah,
ago?
yeah. No, but start by exploring your body even without the little bullet. I mean, a lot of women are very uncomfortable touching their body, which, can create a huge barrier between them and their man.
We're going to take a commercial break, and in the commercial break, I'm going to find out what a bullet is. And don't forget to log on to Facebook today and let us know what you think the most complicated relationship combination is. Is it mother-daughter? Is it son-father? Is it, husband-wife, or somebody at work? We'll share some of your comments later in the show.